And there goes Magnus Carlsen, the number one player in the world, versus a Polish superstar, Jan-Krzysztof Duda. And this will be a fascinating matchup.
And if I may, did you notice a change in Magnus's posture and the way he's moving? A lot of confidence has been added after he pulled this comeback and beat Hans Niemann.
Also note that he's not leaning on his left hand as he was before, putting his head on his hand.
Yeah, absolutely, it's a different Magnus. Just look at it.
Yeah, the attitude, he knows who he's playing against, and he knows this is a dangerous one, but he also doesn't have to prove so much anything. He just has to be his level best. The drama from the last game is gone. We can take a look at this, but we promised that we would show the other match, and I think that's important to take a look at what's happening between Wesley and Nepo, because we haven't seen them at all, and we've seen Magnus already 4 times.
Yeah,
so we will certainly go back to Magnus, but let's take a look at this matchup.
Nepo gets the white pieces in this opening game of the semifinal. So to remind you, the system is exactly the same. So it's four games match, and in case of a tie, they will continue playing game after game after game until somebody wins. Yeah, nothing dramatic so far.
Actually, yes, because there's nothing dramatic. Could we jump over to the women's section? Vaishali versus Wenjun, the world champion, and I'm going to tell you, it is a barn burner already. If we could jump to that board, this attacking play by Zhu Wenjun, she is going straight for the throat in this position. The women's world champion,
wow,
not messing around. Look at this.
G5 and G4. Have you seen it?
She played G5 and against D4 played G4 and opening up files. She's just trying to destroy her opponent.
Very aggressive.
Super aggressive play. That's a dynamic position. Will it backfire, however, as we see that Vaishali's very solid, all her pieces well placed? Was this a rash decision on her part?
Well, computer, as in many other cases, says it's equal. It's anything but equal. So the chances are equal. The position, kind of mathematical evaluation of this one is equal. But yeah, it can be anything because black is the one with kingside initiative, but also black's position looks very much overextended to me.
Yes.
You know, so many so much space taken on a queen side with all those pawn pushes, and not necessarily black has enough pieces to back those pawns up.
Yes, I'm going to tell you, balanced doesn't mean boring.
Absolutely.
Right? And this is what this is, just a wild, absolutely wild position. I'm keeping my eye on the other games as well, and I can say nothing as interesting as this is happening on any board. Some positional maneuvers on those other boards if you want to go look at those, but this one here is crazy. She just played rook to G8, eyeballing the king sitting on that file, the rook attacking down the G line.
G8. White gets the chance to trade on E5, trade the queens, however, but it does not necessarily mean that the king's going to be safe. So if you trade, and if you wish to trade the queens, that means you capture D8, black gets the other rook on the open file, and then potentially bishop goes to C5, so it's nowhere near safe if you just start trading. And in fact, I'm looking at computer line, which computer suggests as being the best, and oh my God, it's not easy to play. She found the first move at the computer line, which is F3, but now after bishop H3, rook F2, black's going to go knight H5, black's going to go queen H4. It does look very scary, to be honest. Computers are known to be able to defend any position, right? Well, for us human beings, it does look very dangerous. Well, however, Zhu Wenjun dropped the bishop back instead of going to H3, which I'm a little bit surprised with.
And by the way, Magnus has a bit of an edge against Duda, while that Wesley So game we were following looks dead even, as a matter of fact, with really not much action going on there. And Magnus's advantage has also slipped a little bit. He does have an advantage on the clock, however. So let's continue with this one because, whoa,
knight to H5.
So exciting game. The
this
women's world
queen will be deployed to H4 very soon. And, wow, knight E2 taking some defensive measures.
Absolutely. And in the other women's matchup, I'll also point out they are pretty even as well. No game matches this one for intensity, to tell you right now. All the other games are pretty much looking even. We might jump back to those if this one settles down, but here she is with 125 left on her clock, trying to figure out what are the angles to attack. White is playing very principled chess after that sally with G5, G4 is Vaishali. She is definitely been playing wonderfully in this tournament. Can she take down the world champion? That would be a statement
Well,
if she
that
were to
would
win
be
this
a
match.
huge statement. Well, and still, Wenjun did not play a move. He
She's
takes
finally traded.
d4. Wow. He takes d4. Queen takes d4. Out of all three captures, I wouldn't say that would be my first one. Queen to h4, as I promised, this queen is headed towards h4 to, well, closer to the white king. But the bishop from f8 is not that easy to put into play.
Yes, because the d6 pawn is hanging.
D6.
You could trade d6 for b2 with bishop g7, but that doesn't look like a smart trade
Yeah.
at all. And Wenjun trying to figure out what she should do here as
There's a rook g6 move, so you guard the d6 pawn with the rook, and then you are planning for bishop g7. That could be it.
but now her time
Wow.
that she had that extra minute to find rook g6.
She did play rook
She finally
g6.
did play this move.
Can you please check what happens in Carlsen Duda? Because Duda's down to like 10 seconds or something.
It's still just a slight edge from Magnus in that game, but he is down on the clock. So will Magnus be able to prevail just on time alone? But look at this, 30 to 16 seconds. Vaishali fighting for her life
Wow.
to not lose on time. As she is ticking down, she's got to make a move. And she's finally played queen d2.
Queen d2.
And knight to g3. That knight had to be destroyed. No
Knight
question
takes.
about it. And now she's ejecting that queen from the position with bishop to f4 and only 5
Queen
seconds
e3.
left.
Oh. Even though, well, position did simplify a little bit. Bishop g7. The black king is stuck in the center, though.
6 seconds left for her. Can she maintain or will she lose this game? And now takes on c4, capture, and the king has shifted, but now she's blitzing away. She's showing her lightning-fast reflexes. Every move now, just quick, and bishop to b3.
Yeah, they both actually are like literally on seconds. I wonder if we should just simply watch it from a camera view.
Well,
Bishop c4, trade here.
Trading there, 7 seconds to 17. And it looks as though white has stabilized the position. Now she's breaking through with the move e5. E5, how strong is that breakthrough? And she's rejected it.
E5,
And
d5, and then
takes.
captured a4. d4, the rook on a4 will be a little bit offside. I'm not sure if black can take advantage of this one.
And now
e6.
E6.
With bishop e5 trade.
But wait.
But the queen is not defended, so e6 was a glitch. Or
Yes,
was it?
and now
king
king-
h6. You have to play king h6. You couldn't drop back.
Queen's traded now, and bishop to f4 with check. Another offer of trades, and they
Well-
have equal material. 8 seconds to 14 seconds on
Everything
the clock.
simplified and getting simplified even more.
But
Takes on
now she's
b4.
managed to crack the pawn structure, but it looks like the a pawn
Yeah,
should drop.
yeah. You attack the a4. Well, wait a second.
Not so fast. You have
Not
to play
so
rook-
fast. Rook a6,
attack,
rook
and now she's down a
d4.
pawn. She's down a pawn. Vaishali is actually ahead in this position, and she should be, well, maybe not winning is a strong term, but she's got the chances. She's the one looking to win this game, and now an attack on her pawn, she's going to have to back up.
Right.
And now
Must be
offering a trade.
holdable. Must be holdable, but not very pleasant to hold this one.
How do you
F4
win that?
check.
King h5 should allowing
King
h4 that
h4.
last move.
King h4.
And the rook can't go anywhere. The rook on
yeah,
a5
you
has
can't
no
move the
moves.
rooks because of rook d6 check. In fact, it's almost like a zugzwang here. Rook to d7, allowing a capture on a4.
What was that about? Oh, switching directions.
That's
Whoa.
a great idea. Yeah, check here.
She has to check again before.
Yeah, you cannot really take h7.
But
Well,
now
you
she
can
take
now.
h7,
You can now.
and she's won a pawn yet again.
And white is winning, Maurice. I'm telling you, white is winning. She just has to keep her time on the clock.
And Magnus did win his game against Duda, by the way. He was in big time pressure
Check
in that
here.
one. And this one, no, she cannot give up the F pawn. I mean, the G pawn. She cannot just make that move. She has to just defend for a moment.
H3.
And now, how does she make progress? How is this winning?
Well, it's got to be winning.
But how? Like, you can't. You're going to have to bring your king back, it looks like. King
Yeah, it's a
back.
check, and after king f7.
I don't understand how you win here. That's the move I was talking about. And now.
Yeah, but this one you do not win the f5 one. I suspect she had to. Oh, no, yeah. Wenjun keeps the king on f7. It's no longer winning. It's a draw. There was some slight chance, apparently, some tactical chance that we both missed. Okay, that's just elementary draw, this one.
And by the way, Wesley So is about to beat Jan Nepomniachtchi. We can switch to that one.
Let's switch to Nepo and Wesley.
And this is the first loss Nepo will suffer in the event. He is hoping for the clock.
Ah, that's a sneaky move, queen f1, because you would think you can take queen g3, but then the king is stalemated. Have you seen this? And then queen f8 check would be played.
So Nepo fighting for his life here against Wesley, and Wesley trying to figure out how to get this position, use traction off his knight. And here's some checks.
Check from.
But the knight is notoriously good at dealing with checks from a queen. So I don't think this queen belonged all the way over that side. There you see the knight was protecting from checks, and now more checks. But how does Wesley make progress here?
And then e5, queen d6 would actually be... Yeah, you go e5, I'm guessing? Yep.
And he missed the knight at 4-4.
He shouldn't have listened to me. He shouldn't have listened to me, Maurice.
Bang, those knights are tricky, and Nepo suffers his first loss of the entire event. Wesley So, the tricky knights in chess we know, and the other games were drawn.
So 2 draws in the women's section, and in the open, Nepo loses to Wesley, and Carlsen beats Duda.
In an endgame where Duda was on seconds the whole time, Magnus doing quite well throughout. By the way, we can go to, what is the move? It is, if you can go to move 33 in the Magnus game, we'll just do a quick
recap of what has happened.
So take it from here, because it looked as though Duda is fine. He is
the pawn down, but
pawn down.
Yeah, okay. We'll show.
King.
Yeah, we'll show if we get the chance. We'll show the diagram.
Let's show it on the board now. We don't have any players. Might as well recap this game really quickly. So if we might pull up the game, pull up the board, then we can show this. And here we go.
Yes, apparently g5, and then if queen takes, queen h2 was the right move. After this check and king g2, queen e1. White was much better, but then again he gives a chance. Rook e4, queen to d1, queen e3, and there was rook d8. So Duda could have gone rook d8, opting for rook d2, and that would be sufficient to keep the balance. After queen d5, king g3, Magnus just solidifies, pawn up, and eventually, yeah, like Duda playing this position on seconds, of course, did contribute to Magnus's victory, and this is decisive. Yeah, e6, queen takes, rook takes, and this one Magnus can win in his sleep.
Yeah, extra pawn, and all of Black's pawns are terrible in this position, and that's that clock. The clock is the problem in those games. You've got to maintain a healthy 30 seconds or so. Going down to 4 seconds and trying to defend this against Magnus Carlsen, a thankless task. You're not going to find all the accurate moves. I believe we do have the moves all set right now. And, I mean, the brackets, or the results, I should say, from the first round. But we did see it. A win for each. Both Magnus winning and Wesley with that trickery with knight f4. Jan was disgusted as he was trying to defend that position and just hung on knight f4 tactic. And Wesley So rising to the occasion. Might we see a Carlsen-Wesley matchup as well? That could be also a very interesting one, to be sure.
Absolutely.
But they are a long way away from that. And we see at the bottom as Vaishali and Wenjun drew that tense game, and Lei Tingjie versus Kateryna Lagno, and that was also a draw.
So we are getting ready for the start of the second game. It's only 3 minutes pause between the finish of the last game of the first game of the semifinals and then the start of the second. So all the players are, well, Magnus just getting seated. I think What's that? Vaishali's missing? Yeah.
Well, she's coming up now. Let's turn to Magnus and follow his, and we'll also try to follow the Kateryna Lagno versus Lei Tingjie matchup, as we didn't see those in the first round, of the semis anyway. So let's focus on that. Jan will have to make a comeback against Wesley as he's down, and Duda will have to try to stay strong. And he knows Magnus is a great front runner. And now we see Magnus in this posture. Is it only when he has the black pieces? I'm starting to wonder if the pattern.
Yeah, that's. Could it be that there is no pattern? It's all random, and we are trying to, let's just to try to find some structure in this
That's what we do.
statistical
we
noise.
weave narratives. We weave
Yeah,
narratives.
absolutely.
That's what we do.
Yeah, we are trying to find a narrative which might be just informational noise. Yeah, like he's leaning here, he likes his position, he doesn't.
But listen, by the way, I just saw a few shirts. I don't know about the jeans, but I just saw a few shirts, tops from the women's section, and they're immaculate. I mean, they look amazing, those shirts. Ready for the holidays, festive indeed, the way they look. Dressed to impress. And here we get the handshake, and they are off. Duda dropping the move, knight of 3 on the board. And Magnus knows if he just is solid, that's what he needs to do, he will be in the driver's seat.
Yeah, he wants to be solid, but also wouldn't mind if he's given a chance to win game 2.
He's not
Which
that solid.
almost,
right
yeah, like he's going for double field check. It's not exactly what you call solid,
now.
right?
No, this is hyper aggressive, and I think he's signaling to his opponent, I'm playing for the win. I don't need no stinking draws. I'm the one in the lead, and also I'm Magnus Carlsen.
Yeah.
Gotta like that attitude in this game. Big time result. If Duda loses this game, it's done. Just absolutely done.
To see him coming back from being 2-0 down is
Ain't gonna happen.
virtually impossible. And look what Magnus is doing. So after Queen C2, he went C5, D5, B5. And it's not exactly a Benko gambit, because after C takes, he would have captured on D5. But let's say Benko gambit type of a position.
Again, not solid at all. I mean, just very aggressive, trying to grab the initiative with black right away.
Yeah, where to go with this knight is another question. Like returning back to B1, I'm guessing black would go E6. Or he just played a move, but he did not.
D1.
D1. That's a bit of a surprise.
And D6, E4 expansion, and now E6.
E6, yep.
Absolute Benoni style. The only issue is that bishop on B7 is usually not that great a piece, and certainly white can try to solidify and cement that, that pawn on D5.
The center is okay. Yeah, well, the thing with, the difference with the Benoni is that black did not yet capture on D5, because usually ED5, CD5 happens, and then you have a tremendous outpost for this knight on C4. So black will be like keeping the tension here, preparing, like maneuvering, maybe knight goes A6, C7, or D7, B6, and only then, as they say, in the right moment, he'll capture on D5, only when and if it is good.
There is some discoordination in white's camp as the rooks are not connected, and bishop out to F4, trying to fix that problem. The knight can then go to E3, as this would be a useful square for this piece. But it looks like Magnus is expanding on the queen side.
Yes, just went A5. A5.
I mean, he's playing maximalist chess right now.
Look, A4, so Duda's the one who blocks the queen side. So now if Magnus wanted to do it, he could go E5, block like 3/4 of the board and say, okay, I will be able to defend the king side. And that seems that's what he does. He went E5.
But it does seem as though white has that spatial clamp. I was worried. Usually I want to take on D5 under some good circumstances. But now
Bishop
the spatial clamp suggests that white will have some small advantage due to space, and black will certainly be chasing the F5 break at some point. That
Yeah,
F5,
but that'd be a lot of maneuvering here. Yes, a black F5 for white have as well. Like after a lot of maneuvers, maybe getting knight on D3, F4 is what you're looking at because it's very hard to imagine white opening the position otherwise. Rook to E7, just and him doubling the rooks on the closed file.
what does that do?
Well, he says it will be awfully hard for you to play F4. That's it. It's not like he has zero ways of opening the E file, so I don't think it necessarily does anything.
Now, white's going to spend a year and a half
To prepare this F4.
prepare the F4 break under the right circumstances. As we see the chain in the position in the center is fully blocked, and now knight H5 by Magnus. Again, F5 is the money break if he could make it happen, but it's unlikely to be done anytime soon.
White also controls F5 like 5 times,
Well,
potentially.
only 3, but
Yeah, but I mean, you can
more than
add
enough.
stuff. Yeah, knight F6. Say, well, it doesn't look like black is looking to play F5 necessarily.
No, he looks like he's just trying to stop the move.
Look, Key H8, Knight G8. Well, the thing is Magnus, you could think, I could think, even Duda could think he's just randomly moving pieces, but Magnus has exact picture in his head what he wants to get in this position. So I'm guessing Knight G8 prepares Bishop H6 of some sort.
And there's Rook F8.
Rook F8,
F5, as we
mysterious moves. F5 is what he's trying to do.
He might play knight H6 and F5, by the way. I mean, there is the point that you want to play a pawn break. The position is fully blocked, and you want to play a pawn break in order to open it up, and that is the pawn break that makes the most sense. White wants to play F4. Now he's played bishop to F3,
Hitting the knight.
making F5 completely unappetizing, and so the knight has to drop back, and now the knight to D3. Talk about long maneuvering game. It spent a lot of time, though, to Duda to get here as he's down a minute on the clock, down to only 30
Knight
seconds.
H6.
And there's the knight H6 move, and I don't doubt we'll see the other knight to G8, and then the move F5 could happen.
And isn't it amazing that it's move 25 and all the units are on the board, not a single pawn exchange.
That is indeed amazing. Magnus, though, with that edge on the clock,
Knight G8. That,
he's just played it.
but
He
Magnus
did play
does
knight
is
G8,
absolutely
and he played
fantastic.
F5. This is the move we've been talking about, and a trade on
F5, so
F5
now
square.
pawn takes is possible, knight takes is, well, also makes some sense, but let's see what he captures with.
I was about to say,
Yeah, pawn takes.
but F4 has to be played to deal with this structure, and a new structure.
Wow.
This is very typical of this setup where you play for F5 and then white gets to play F4, and now the long diagonal is available for the bishop, and now the
F6.
G file becomes the storyline.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. That's an amazing, amazing game.
The thing is that G4 is no longer playable with ease anyway. White would like to be able to play G4, but how to pull that off? And look at this last move, Queen D1, eyeing
Sneaky,
that
sneaky.
knight. But only 12 seconds left in this complex position. where
Wow,
only
look how
one
relaxed
pawn has
they
been
are.
traded. And he has to move.
Rook G8.
7 seconds. This is what happened to him the last time. He is not in flow at all, as Magnus is way ahead on the clock.
Yeah, one thing Magnus can do is put the bishop on D4, right? Okay, so starts with Queen E8, making sure that the knight is protected. But
No, it's huge trouble
this
here
is potentially what he can do.
for black to have this position, and the time edge is massive. And the bishop did go to
Bishop
D4.
does get to D4.
Got to challenge that piece.
Bishop
Bishop
B2.
B2. Only 3 seconds left. And now built up to 5. And now look at Magnus just masterfully dominate the G line in G4.
Whoa.
Played.
And
giving away
G4
the F
gives away
pawn.
the F4 pawn.
That was just, again, when you're in
I
this
think
kind
he's
of time
falling
pressure,
apart. I think
you
he's
do
falling
not
apart,
keep up.
Maurice.
And
Takes on
here
G4,
we go, more
and you can
trades.
take. Wow,
No,
and
no, more
he's getting the access to the H files. It's everything is
There it
gone
is.
for
Magnus is
Jan-Krzysztof Duda.
Rushing in style now, up material,
Queen
up
G5
position, up
looks like
on the
almost
time.
finishes the game. Knight H5 is plus 11 according to the machine. Well, and Magnus got 40 seconds to figure this one out.
Right.
E3 looks good. I mean, you just push your pawn. He's done Queen C3.
Again, no time
Wow.
to defend, and now
Queen
Queen G1
G3.
is threatened.
And
That
you
looks
can-
like a Is that a bishop? Am I missing?
It is. It is. You can take. I don't get it. Yeah, knight takes.
I mean, what can you do?
Knight takes. Queen a1 check. Okay, you go to.
Nobody.
Well, he
believes
was
that.
rook g7 because guess what? Queen f6, queen e1.
And that's that. You
Flawless
cannot
win.
Go down on the clock. Magnus played that incredibly. And it was a draw in the Wesley matchup, but let's go see the World Championship matchup here. There's a women's world champion against Vaishali. And she is.
Vaishali's down a
winning
pawn. Well,
this
he
pawn.
was down a pawn and still is down a pawn.
She's in trouble,
Yep.
but is it enough?
Is it enough remains a question.
Ooh,
Wow,
nice pin.
that's a terrible pin. Look.
Got to check.
Check, but it doesn't help really, and you cannot kind of counter-attack the bishop because white would take on a4 and just win.
Oh, she's headed to hide her king.
Yeah, she wants to hide the
That's
king and
sneaky.
then go bishop b5.
And
So
that's it. She's going to
it's a
win this
pawn
game.
and an exchange. It is an absolutely winning position. I would prefer to keep the rook as far as possible from this knight. I do not know what the rook is doing on the c file, to be honest.
By the way, Kateryna Lagno did win her game.
Against Lei Tingjie, so
Yes.
that she has +1.
Does she take the pawn now or
She
come back?
can, but then g2 falls.
She has taken it. This
Yeah,
is completely winning. I mean, this.
of course, it would be winning, but yeah. Why don't you keep the rook on the a file? Isn't it like?
Stay away from that knight. We've already
Right,
seen
yeah.
tricky
Knights.
knights.
Knights are annoying. Okay, king g7, and you cannot go king g5. Yeah, finally we figured this one out. h4, and then you're trading both h5 and f5. Okay, I mean, in this particular case,
No, this
h5, but yeah, this is
is
over.
now over.
This is over.
21 seconds left, and she's deciding whether or not she will play this move. And she
H5,
has played
yep.
it.
Takes.
And now you're just, and with only 4 seconds left, you are in trouble.
You eventually move the pawn forward.
There it is.
You can,
Yep,
go king
knight
g5.
F3 check must be played. No
that's
choice.
Winning, yeah.
then
And then you can attack the knight, I'm guessing, right? I mean, you can go rook d6.
Yes. And
d6,
that played, and the knight
just make sure,
moving
g5
away.
or e5, whatever. Yeah, no, that slowly but surely the whole setup, white's rook, king and a pawn, all together working to promote the f pawn to win the game. King to g6,
That's a mate
ideal.
threat, mate alert, and that's that. Classy chess there by a classy world champion, and she's showing her stuff. So we have 2 victories, actually, in the women's section. As we mentioned, Kateryna Lagno won, Wesley So drew. Let's see how Kateryna Lagno finished off her opponent. Just quickly go to that.
Whoa, there was it seems there was a lot of stuff happening, Riz. So there was this rook endgame where it's even number of pawns, and apparently computer thinks it's just equal. King to g8, rook takes, king f7, rook b6. Okay, white was winning with rook b7 check. Don't ask me why computer says this.
Okay.
Rook b6 back to a drawish position. So it was a drama. Like it was a lot of mistakes. To me, it seems like a little bit too subtle. Here, after b6, king takes e5 would be a draw.
Hold on.
How's that? It says king takes e5.
Because
King
you can go back
e5,
to
it's
C7.
counterintuitive because you would think b7 and it's a check on the
King
back
D6.
rank, but yes, there is king to d6, and after this check, you're just in time to go to c7 to stop the b pawn.
Yep.
And yeah, and she probably panicked. She did not take the pawn, and then of course with 2 pawns, white is winning because guess what? Rook g8, rook takes g7 will
all she wrote.
solve the game.
Okay, rook and pawn endings, as we know, are notoriously tricky, and that is what happened there. So she takes a lead in the match. I believe that's the first time that the lead is now has now been taken in this match, and we have leaders. Magnus Carlsen winning a 2nd game in a row. All he needs now is a draw to make it to the finals, and he looks like a very confident player indeed. Wesley So drawing to put himself at 1.5.
Yep.
And so he is ahead in the match, but certainly not comfortable whatsoever. And Wenjun, after a draw in the first game,
Takes
now
the
a
lead.
win, takes the
Relatively
lead.
confidently.
And so Vaishali will have to show that she can come back, as she's been playing extremely well. And Kateryna Lagno also taking the lead
Against
against
Lei
Lei
Tingjie.
Tingjie. So we are...
A little correction though, Maurice. Let's talk Magnus. He won 2 games in a row in this match. And 2 games against Hans. So he's won 4 out of 4 in last 4 games played. Was this loss to Hans a kind of a little bit of a wake-up for Magnus? Because he did look somewhat sleepy, leany to one side, other side, and then he lost to Hans, and Magnus is back 4 out of 4.
You're the one saying we shouldn't be making up narratives, and you just
But,
spun
well,
one
I just made up a new
right
one.
there. All right, well, this is very exciting indeed, and we should be starting in just a couple of minutes. As you
Yeah,
mentioned,
I believe so.
after the games end, it's only 3 after the last game ends, 3 minutes later, the next round begins.
Yeah, let me find the games. Yep, Carlsen will have the white pieces in the game where he only needs a draw.
I feel like this one is going to be anticlimactic to follow. Magnus is in. Can we just say that?
Very likely.
If we see something different, we will come back to this
Yeah.
one. But we should go to Nepo
Nepo Wesley.
and Wesley, because his back is against, not quite totally against the wall, is Nepo, but this is his last white. And so he needs to prove something. If Wesley can solidify, then he gets white in the next game, and Nepo will have it up against the wall if he has to win with the black pieces.
That's the worst. Like when Wesley has a white pieces on you and you have to win, that's the worst imaginable thing.
That is not fun.
And this one, oh, well, it's a surprising line to play for being solid from Wesley So, but yeah, we'll see.
What's
That's
this about? What just
so-called
happened?
so-called Dubov Tarash. So-called Dubov Tarash line. Queen to D1, king to D1, A, B6. It's very... That's like 25 moves of theory or 30 moves of theory, and if you remember everything, you're somehow holding. Yeah. Looks crazy, and if you... Well, just let
What's
me tell
this
you.
King C2 move?
King C2, defending the B3 knight, I'm guessing, after knight B4, the king goes to B1. No, this is like complete computer analysis, and one shouldn't really...
Yeah, but knight b4 looked like a good move, and
It
he
did.
didn't play it, and instantly bishop takes.
Pawn takes. So Wesley, interestingly, plays it with kind of a human approach, and I'm thinking it could be that Nepo has this like prepared very, very long line. I still don't think that white, we can say like white gets something substantial. It's a pawn, but black always going to have some compensation.
Well, the opposite colored bishops.
Opposite
do
colored
help.
bishops. The king is somewhat strange, and by the way, you cannot really play e4 because it will be captured, I'm guessing. King d2. Yeah, this king has to travel. I mean, there'll be more checks, and then maybe like, yeah, rook a to d1, king here, and the other rook to e1. There's also bishop e6 back. How do you keep your pawn? Bishop e6 back. So king c2, bishop f5. I insist on repeating.
He has played on check. And
He did play a check, king e3,
now bishop
and
back
now
to
bishop e6. So he does win the a2 pawn, doesn't he?
Yeah, bishop takes knight is a real threat here. And
Yeah.
So knight to d4.
Knight to d4.
Now bishop c5, c4. was
Bishop
played,
c4, he decided not to capture.
allowing him to play b3.
Yeah, b3, bishop b2 would be a dream. Like if after b3 you move your bishop away, then after bishop b2 I'm ready to say like white is consolidating.
You'd feel foolish if that happened, in fact. But b3, maybe c5.
Yeah, that could be a reply. Yeah, by the way, we never mentioned, but knight c6 is met with a check, and then e2 falls, and this should be good for black.
And Nepo head bobbing there. He has a substantial edge on the clock already, but Wesley looks comfortable. I mean, Wesley looks like he's just chilling like a villain. What's the deal? I got opposite colored bishops. Yes, you're up a pawn, but I'm better developed, better coordinated. Your king has just stuck its face out there. and I've been chasing it around a little bit. Now he looks a little bit more stressed with that posture, but I don't know. It's kind of hard to defend everything if you're white here.
Yeah.
C5 is a threat.
And still no move from Nepo?
No, he spent all this time, and now he's down on the clock, and Wesley was ready with the move C5.
C5, no hesitation whatsoever.
Takes.
Take C4, rook D4. You're dropping the C4 pawn. I don't think you win.
You are indeed dropping this pawn, and Nepo's posture has definitely changed after that last bit. And
yeah, like rook
okay,
to B1.
Wesley was about to take, and he has captured.
He has captured. So now rook D1 stopping knight D5. Otherwise, if you'd captured the pawn on B6 immediately, knight D5 would have been a move.
But A2 is
A2 is hanging,
well.
so you need to make a little lift for the king not to be checkmated on the last rank.
And rook C2.
Rook C2.
Threatening rook E8
I
check.
have a check
Be
and
careful.
capture E2. Wow.
You know, if Wesley gets a chance to win this game.
Wesley plays with a great precision. I'm monitoring the computer lines here as well. He does play with great precision. King F2 and...
Should make some luft, don't you think? On the
right, I mean,
king?
it's about time. Like, play H6 or play H5. Don't make anyone nervous. I mean, H5.
On the
H5.
board.
Right.
And I just feel like black is the one who's starting to play.
Yeah, like if anything, it's black who's better.
And better on the clock as well.
And psychologically, like Nepo knows that's his last white, so he would prefer to win this one, and he can't really find a chance. It's not about. We are not talking advantage or anything. Like
Wesley has been making
very
it
hard to
suffer.
Yeah.
To be truthful, it's just where is the edge?
Nowhere to be seen. A3. So any updates in the other games, Maurice, please?
Well, Magnus is cleanly winning his.
Winning.
Massive advantage.
Okay.
Crushing Duda, in
so
fact.
no miracle.
Not even close.
No miracle's going to happen.
No, that one we thought Duda would be desperate, and he is.
All right. Yeah, this one as well. Like Wesley, as solid as a rock in this position. I mean, I can't possibly think how you win this one with white.
By the way, Vaishali is going down against Wenjun in a game she has to win, but she's getting smoked.
So this game, this match could be over right here.
Yes,
now.
right here, right now, is a big problem. While the other one between Lagno and Lei Tingjie is still a fight. So let's see if how this one ends. There's still a little bit of drama here.
Yeah. I'm thinking if you just take A3, white takes B6, there shouldn't be too many worries for black. But Wesley surprisingly goes rook B8.
Which is surprising because it's passive, right? Putting
Yeah.
on such a passive square and offering white some chance. And here, quickly, Nepo says, all right, wait a minute.
I'll eventually expand. Yeah, like G4, F5, maybe kicking this knight away. At some point, I feel like black has to start moving his potential passed pawn, let's call it.
He has advanced it.
Yep, B5, G4. Well, the pawn material getting reduced also kind of suggested.
That's a good push. Rook
Very
behind passer.
Yep, B4. And then it's a bit of a conflict for Nepo. Like, you want to keep the pawn on the board, but also how do you do it? Because B3, B5.
More pawn exchanges there.
Yep, F5, trade.
Got to play knight D4, it looks like.
Yeah, you can go knight D4. Can you like knight G7? It's an ugly move, but if you make sure that you attack, yeah, knight to D4, okay.
I mean, the more trades, the merrier. That knight's attacking the pawn on F5, and
A B4, rook B4.
did see a trade.
F5 still hanging. Okay,
Mate
F6.
alert. No, not mate alert. I thought the king was on F8.
No.
But no, still has a space to go. But that pawn itself is
Knight
a problem.
E6. Well, knight
whoa.
E6 loses, and he just done it.
Whoa. He just blundered, and Nepo spots it in a second. Unreal. Take a look at the tactics.
That's a study-like win. The
Nepo,
bishop
look
C5.
at him. He just got a massive donation.
What a chance.
Oh, my goodness. From nothing he emerged with the victory. You got to know your tactics, and Wesley just blundered.
Wow.
Amazing.
What a comeback by Nepo. And I believe, yeah, that's a kind of a wrong result we have on our electronic board, which suggests this game was a draw. It wasn't a draw, believe me.
Okay, I believe
it wasn't a draw. It's a great comeback.
that is a shocker. That is what chess is about. Play until the other guy potentially blunders. Let's take a look at the finish in this one, as Magnus did beat Duda. And
we still have the game running, Maurice. Lei Tingjie against Lagno. If Lagno wins this one, it's the end of story, right?
yes, the tale ends here.
However, it's White who is in a better position. In fact, absolutely a winning position, but they're all down to seconds. Of course, a lot of drama in this one.
White's up 2 pawns.
2 pawns, 2 connected
Should win
pass
if she can
pawns.
just keep making moves. But we've seen shoulds become not so fast.
Yeah.
And here, White is trying. White is just
Okay.
no longer up 2 pawns, just 1. And you better watch that 8 pawns.
Yeah, well,
4
H pawn.
seconds left. 3, and now she's playing
Check.
her knight with check. But this pawn is fast.
Yeah, H pawn
That
is very
and she's ignoring it
extremely
for the
fast.
moment as she pushes her own pawn. What is
How
this?
do you stop H?
I
The
don't
H pawn?
understand. The pawn can
It's
just
promotion.
queen.
Yep.
You've got to take it, and then you don't promote.
No,
That's
this
the
is
end.
it. This is it. That here comes the equalizer.
Unreal. Unreal. Wow.
1.5 apiece. They go into game 4. Wenjun.
She's
Won.
clinched her match.
Yep. And Carlsen closed his match, and the narrative that I've just invented stays still, right? So 5 out of 5 for Magnus Carlsen after a loss to Hans Niemann.
Let's pick up that Magnus game somewhere where he had the advantage big time early. Maybe move. Let's give it move
Which
15.
Move 15, yep, right. He's actually down a pawn, right? So he must have sacrificed the pawn early on. But just look at, yeah, and actually it was black to move here and black castled. So we cannot say like, king stuck in the center. It's just the initiative, the activity of the pieces. So knight
Look
to
at those pieces.
d4,
I mean, the pieces are
flying, and the
fantastic.
bishop is still stuck on c8.
The rook on a8.
Yeah, so Duda
pieces.
was trying to kind of develop, and yeah, this knight c6 mistake, and especially the recapture on c6. So bc6 was still playable. After knight c6, rook c4, queen e7. Yeah, so you're running out of squares with this queen, I'm guessing. So queen f6, I suspect knight h5 or knight e4 would be deadly. And then after queen e7, Magnus just went after the exchange. In fact, he did not take the exchange. It's not running. He's not running away. Bishop f8, king f8, knight to f4. It's absolute disaster.
That was just a couple of moves, and then he gives
Yeah.
back the exchange in this position
Bishop e6, and
with a vicious attack.
everything's falling apart. Yeah, by the way, bishop f4. It was played, yeah. Bishop f4, rook d8, not even bishop d5, but rook d8. And then you have to go to the e file, and there's a discovery. And not a discovery, but first, I will do it my way. Move after move after move. Bishop d5, win the queen, win the game. That's it.
That's done. That was a demolition, to be sure. And let's see how Wenjun actually. We're going to get some results first. And Magnus clinches his match. He has his ticket to the finals, where he will await the winner of the Nepo versus Wesley match.
Where Nepo just equalized thanks to a horrendous blunder by Wesley So.
Wesley's pieces were just constructed in the perfect way to lose the game at the very end.
Yeah.
Because his rook had to be on b4, his pawn had to be on c5.
Yeah, exactly. Like you move one piece and it doesn't work.
Yes. Wenjun eliminates Vaishali. I believe that's the case. Wenjun,
Yeah, 2.5 half.
2.5 half.
It's over.
And it's anybody's ball game in the Lei Tingjie versus Lagno matchup.
Absolutely. So in a way, we could say situation is identical. We have 2 finalists, and we have 2 even matches that keep going.
Yes, indeed. This is the ladies' bracket, a dominant performance by Wenjun. The women's world champion is that for a reason, as she has eliminated the upstart and is now in the final playing for all the marbles, where she will await either Kateryna Lagno or her countrywoman, Lei Tingjie, in the finals. By the way, if she does battle against Lei Tingjie for the finals here, then it's another all-Chinese finals, because she will be doing the same when she plays
Right.
her match
In
against
Tan
Tan
Zhongyi. Yeah,
Zhongyi
yeah.
in
For the classical.
April for the classical title. So she's trying to pick up more and more titles. The Chinese women, they showed up here for a reason. And this match is huge, and they're off. A tied match at the moment, so a lot of tension. And the other match will be between Wesley and Nepo. We're going to follow both of those. Where are the men, by the way? They have begun as well.
They have begun as well.
Let's try to do a little split screen action, if you will. We'll call it as such. We know on the right that the ladies are playing. Now we have a different screen.
I actually don't have the moves in the PGN from Wesley and Nepo, so
You don't.
so I'll have to stick with this one for now at least.
Okay, we need to hurry up and get those moves, or at least show the board. And there we have that board. So on the left is Wesley versus Nepo, and on the right is Kateryna versus Lei. So you got that? If you're watching, just try to keep up, because we're going to try to do both right now, as both of these are potentially deciding games. If they are drawn, we will go to a tiebreak. But at the moment, we are looking at game 4 as a possible clincher.
Yeah, and in Nepo's game against Wesley, Nepo just went d5, which potentially can... Was it d5 or...
D5 was just played, yeah.
So I'm thinking it can cause a lot of trades in the center. So the c takes, he probably plans to take with the knight, right? Well,
And
Wesley decided to take on f6 first, and then he takes on d5, almost forcing Nepo to capture the knight, yes, and then get the isolated pawn there.
Well, wait a minute. We could have done this all the time. When did our
As
tech
it
team
turns out,
figure this
it's
out?
okay. That's brilliant.
I mean, whoa. Okay, top board on the right is Lagno versus Lei Tingjie, and the bottom board is Wesley So with the white pieces against Nepo. And so we'll follow them both as much as possible. On the left, of course, is the actual live board with Nepo and, Wesley and Nepo. Wesley with the white pieces.
Yeah. So
Now, the thing about those isolated pawn positions that we see on the screen on the bottom, they're difficult to win because it's just about the pawn. And these guys know how to defend so well.
hang on a second. We've lost it. Yeah. Okay. We are back to what we wanted to.
What happened? This board shifted. The Nepo board on the bottom shifted somehow to an older position. I don't know why this bottom board is not where it should be.
I have no control over this board, Maurice.
Yeah, that's not the position anymore. That position changed already. The position is the position on the board right now. We need to update that Nepo position.
We can just get rid of it now.
And we can have the position if we can have it. We should put it up there.
Yeah, let's switch with let's stay with this one. So Lagno just went knight to g5. Well, I don't quite get it. What's happening?
Whoa, Nepo is just equalized is what I'm seeing. At least he's just taking the pawn on b2 with confidence.
Could it be that he's even like slightly better here?
All right, we're back again.
Yeah.
And you can see the positions match, and they've agreed to a draw.
Okay.
They're
Makes
going
us
to a tiebreak.
Makes our task even easier.
Why did Wesley bail out on that position right now? I guess he just didn't feel the vibes, maybe.
Right. Well, maybe they just know how to draw this one. Okay, so g3, queen has to move.
There are a lot more going on this board.
Queen a4.
She
Don't you
could
feel-
have taken on g5, by the way,
She
but she would have
could.
given up the two bishops.
Right, she could even go to h6. Queen a4.
Like a wandering queen, no?
Yeah, and far away from the king side as well.
Yes, Lagno will sniff out the possibility there. And now the knight returns.
Knight e4.
away, and then play
Okay.
knight e4, bishop c8.
Bishop c8. And you know what? The bishop on c1 kind of stuck.
Yes, well, that's the thing. Where does this bishop belong? And it looks like bishop b2, but I was thinking
Well-
there might be an f5 shot, but no, he's just going to trade. And
And you have to take with the bishop because otherwise a2 pawn would have been hanging. Now rook to d8 again.
looks like the most natural move, although you're still going to have to solve the problem of your bishop on c8. That bishop, you're going to have to figure it out someday where this
Yeah.
piece belongs. White's going to play, and she's decided, I'm not solving anything.
Queen
I'm going to stop you from
e5.
playing the move c4 and opening up a line for your bishop. That is
Yeah.
a really bold move at the moment. And queen
Well,
back to
queen
e2, again
e2.
saying, I will, well, but c4 can be met by
Knight
knight to
d4 now.
d4. So I don't
Yeah.
know what this last move did. The most aggressive move was f4, but it was hyper aggressive.
Absolutely, like f4 with a queen on e3, king on g1.
Yes.
Yeah, that was. It wasn't a bad move though. It's just that it's not easy to play such a move, like weakening your own king.
Right, especially in the most committal game of all, like this one here. You don't want to make any kind of mess ups. They're both under a minute at the moment, 58 to 49 seconds. And Kateryna Lagno with the white pieces again, Lei Tingjie with the black pieces. A loss and you're out. Tension is thick in this game, and black needs a move.
Well, can she play f5 by the way? Doesn't f5 just like win?
No,
I
F5
guess
at
f4 is
yeah.
there, right?
So she's taking a long time, though. This could be the game.
24
This
seconds.
moment could be the game. She'll look back and regret this moment that she didn't play faster. 22 seconds only on her clock. She went into a deep 30-plus second think on that last move. And now,
Yes, rook e1, or
yeah, potential trouble for her, but her opponent is now stopping. You would think you'd be ready with an auto move right about. Just
yeah,
get ready to move. She played A4.
a4.
A4 responded to by B6, preparing to finally develop this piece. And now rook to D1,
D1.
offering a trade of rooks, which her opponent is not
B7.
against at the moment. And every move that White has played in the last two moves has cost her about 5 seconds, 10 seconds even.
Yeah, yeah,
As she
lost-
is now about to go under her opponent. Can you imagine? She was up 30 seconds.
Yeah, like completely lost the flow, it seems.
Yes.
She
And now
did.
F5 on the board. And they're going to,
F5.
now under 20 seconds,
Queen e1. She
But
just blundered queen
Queen
e1.
E1, knight back.
And he just
and
bring the
bishop-
knight. F7, g5. Now
Wow.
she didn't see it.
Bishop to E4.
Now let's White play queen e3. So she didn't see. She was completely winning with knight f7. Anyway,
That bishop E4 looked awfully natural to me, though, I'm going to tell you. And you have to find that win. And now bishop to F6. And they are both, again, in
I'd
that
say
20-second
marginally
range.
better for black, but nothing real. It can change any time if White finds a way to develop the bishop from b2.
And now knight, forcing
Knight
knight
A1.
A1 after knight A5. And now the king coming up. And black at the 10-second mark. Let's note that. And now B4.
b4. But then knight b4 is threatening.
Oh, no,
Knight
she missed
b4,
it.
she
She
just
missed
missed.
it. Attack
Just dropped the pawn.
Drop the pawn. And now it's
Well,
black
knight-
who's winning the game.
Or knight d5, knight c6. Yeah, black's just up a pawn. Well, the king
Well, not
is
an
moving
easy pawn
forward.
to be sure, but no, king to D7, guarding the C6 knight, and now White is scrambling for her life. Lose this, and you are out. Kateryna Lagno back against the wall in deep trouble, and
Well, takes over here.
another trade. You still have to figure out
King c7,
exactly
but it
what to
allows
do.
king a6, right? And White kind of has to go king a6 if she wants something.
Knight
Okay, knight c4 is
C4.
okay.
preventing the move king to B7 because of knight D6, but that move, bishop E7, changes again that narrative, and
a5, but yeah, but now you can trade the knights, and even if you lose the a7 pawn, like, I mean, too many weaknesses, right? And you don't
Now
have to lose the a7 pawn, by
it's
the way.
massive
Must be winning.
problem, must be winning, about to go down. We've seen the last throws of Kateryna Lagno, a two-time champion.
h4,
Why did she put her pawn on a dark square?
I think it's chaos, Maurice. I mean, by that point in time, it's just
And
like
here the king
second
is
king to
coming back,
B5.
but she does have two separated passers that she can
Yeah.
try to use. But is the king going to come back and assist? Well, like I
Wait a
said,
second.
two passers
King
well,
A6 or what?
King
King
A6.
A6, bishop E7, you know, just move the A pawn.
Why did she play so passively?
I don't know what's happening.
And now the C pawn racing up the board. The PGN files has simply, oh no,
Yeah,
it's still
cannot-
keeping up with
cannot
us
really
for the moment.
keep up.
But we can see this right here. Can she somehow make progress though?
She's almost like in a Tsuk swung, you know.
Black has allowed this white king to be too far up the board, and now she's dropped her pawn with check on
What's
A5.
happening?
She dropped her pawn.
Still good enough for a draw, I have to tell you.
But she was winning though.
She
may
was
be
completely
losing
winning.
This ending now.
She
Again,
was completely winning.
the edge of the precipice for both players, and the king. You've got to like what.
Hang on a second. Now
Oh, she's not sure what to
I'm
do.
gonna go. I'm gonna go King E4. I'll take F3. I'll take H4. You'll take C6. I'll be trying to move the H pawn forward.
Is that winning though? I'm not sure.
It's not winning, but
winning.
it's a chance. For the first time in this game, Lagno's going to have a chance. Well, Bishop B6.
Bishop B6
Bishop
is
B6,
great.
followed by King E4.
Now she can move her king away, and you can't deal.
Bishop
she
D8
had to
is a
play
clever
this
move, yeah.
Very nice
Clever
move.
move.
Great defense.
Bishop G5.
With seconds on the clock.
Just go after the F3 pawn. Yes. Take it. Go King G4. Try to promote the H pawn. It is a draw. We all know it. Well, black can trade.
I mean,
That's black can
I knew
trade
this
on
was- I mean,
H4.
what is?
Yeah.
You're going to get to
And-
F8, and it's auto
And
draw.
yes, you go to D7.
That's it. Once you
with
get
the
to
tempo
F8,
to spare.
that's
Now,
it.
just in time. Yep.
Right, exactly. And now the king cannot get out, and we indeed have a draw. We will be going to tie breaks.
And it is a
in
big
this one.
miss, Maurice. It is a big miss for Lei Tingjie.
Yes,
It was,
she was winning.
yeah,
That's
she
it.
was winning on few occasions in this game. And
Extraordinary.
I will see game 5 in like 3-4 minutes from now.
Yes, 3
I'm
minutes.
guessing
they
there
will
won't
be
be
playing again.
a long break. There will be a long game.
It looks
long
like they will
break.
be drawing colors.
For game 5.
Yes.
Fair enough, because game 5 stops the match immediately. Game 5, game 6, whatever. So the first game you win stops the match.
Yes,
It's not a
so-
set of 2 games as a tiebreak, but just 1 game.
It will be just the luck of the draw next. And I don't mean draw in chess. I mean a drawing of colors. Who gets white in the next game? And here it is. This is sophisticated. Put your hands behind your back and choose.
And they say you have to show that you have pawns of different colors before you do that.
Here it is. And she has chosen the white pieces. There is no Armageddon. It is just a straight 3 plus 2.
Same,
the
yeah,
same thing we
same
just
game,
saw.
same format.
And this to see who goes to the finals.
Wow.
And they will start in 3 minutes. That is what will happen. Wow, that was.
Man, that game.
Whew.
So there were, I don't know if I can show this one, but there was, I will not go over the endgame because there's like a lot of stuff. But there was one moment like much earlier when black played bishop e4, got in this endgame, which originally was equal and so on and so. But apparently knight f7 was just winning. And the point being that if you try to trade the queens, knight g5, and it's a checkmate from h3, which is threatening.
Nasty.
And that's it. That just resigns.
Come on.
It's not easy to spot this stuff in Blitz,
in
but also
Blitz.
she could finish the game in 2 moves.
Yeah, but bishop e4 looked like a compelling move. But the same queen e3 move was threatened. So, all right.
Okay, we quickly have to find this game 5. Well, can we just like? Yeah,
Let's find it.
I'm trying to. So that semi-final game 5 must be this,
Yes,
right?
sounds like it.
Semi-final game 5. There is no semi-final game 5 for Nepo and Wesley, but there is one for. Is there? Wait a second. We completely forgotten both Wesley and Nepo. No, we did not.
No,
They
they're
be-
playing
so
two.
there are 2 game
They're
5s.
playing 2. Yeah, it's 2
Man,
game
there are
5.
2 game 5s. I've forgotten about Nepo and Wesley. So there are 2 game 5s.
No, we got to try to cover it all.
Wow.
Whew, the tension is thick. The point is that two world champions, or, well, in Magnus's case, the #1 player in the world, Wenjun, the world champion, they're waiting. They're sitting back.
Yeah, they've already
feet up on the chair,
accomplished everything in
and
3 games, in fact, right?
in 3 games. They've just been chilling, so we got to say they have an advantage as far as the rest and the nerves and all that. Meantime, these players are battling for their natural-born lives as they try to move on from these these semifinals into the finals, and both players look extremely determined. They've been in this kind of situation before. She has won 2
twice
of these before. And I don't know what Wesley's face is saying right now. He doesn't look like a man who wants to be seen, but they're now ready to go. Wow. You can only imagine butterflies in the stomach as they try to settle themselves. There's Wesley. You see him breathing, inhaling deeply. It looks like you can see him trying to catch his breath, calm himself, and we're off.
All right, not getting the moves just yet. Well, let me quickly find those. Maybe we have a backup link. Yeah, it is going. It is going for me, at least Wesley's game. And I think if they repeat what they've played in in one of the previous games in the match, right? So the one where Jan went after this bishop. So it's like white gets a pair of bishops advantage, but it's not really an advantage because black's position is very flexible.
All right, so they're still going at it. What did we get in the opening in the women's game? If we could find that as well.
What? No, it cannot be the same. It cannot be the same position. Please tell. No. It's a glitch in the PGN. I'll have to switch. I'll have to switch because.
Well, let's get a look at the board between the two.
Lei Tingjie and Lagno. Yeah, if we can get a board view, because it seems that we are.
We could close in on this position.
No, it is what?
There's no way.
What? There's
is this like?
It is, yes, it is. Sorry for confusion. There is no, it's just like absolutely identical opening lines till some point. Till some point. Now I'm able to tell the difference. But you know what? You're switching from game to game. You see absolutely the same structure, absolutely weird knight on a4. And you think, okay, it's identical.
Well,
it cannot be.
Let's see the PGN.
It is correct, man.
If we get that double view of both games, look at
okay,
this. Well,
finally it's getting.
Did happen on the left side, but we do see the knights are similar.
Yeah, there's potential. Like black is going to play rook e8, white's going to capture on b6. We can still have it's the same way. No, come on.
So much of the structure is, in fact, very similar.
That's incredible, and it'll be very hard to tell for us which one we have, which one we have on a camera view. Okay, it turns out it's Wesley against Nepo.
No,
what a
this
confusion!
Game is actually between Lagno. From what I'm seeing,
yeah. Oh, come on, I've lost it. I've lost it, Maurice.
How you feel? This game is the one on the bottom is the Wesley versus Nepo game.
Yeah.
So this is the kind of position I got to feel like Wesley thinks, okay, I need to make a draw with the black pieces or at least equalize.
Yeah.
Give me the white pieces so I can beat you, and we go to a game 6.
Yeah.
There's still a lot of action, however, on the top board. You see with the ladies, this is their position on the top board. And C5 and Lagno,
wow.
she wants to get a solid position herself, but
BC5,
allowing some space. No,
I'm
actually
surprised with all those exchanges, to be honest. Because now, don't you have like a weak pawn on the A3? On A3? Yeah, that's a strange idea of exchanging the, like, it's very understandable. You have pair of bishops, you want to open the position, but there was not the way to open the position to white's favor.
Again, the top board is the ladies' board. The bottom board is at the open section. And I got to say, the bottom board is looking more and more like black is okay.
Black is at least okay, I feel like. So some knight f4 jumps, rook to g6, and who knows? Can it be that black's okay, but white's not? No, seriously. Like
in that case, black's not just okay, black's good.
exactly. I mean,
Black's
but
doing
there's
well.
a spectrum when you say like black's okay. It could be that Wesley actually has an advantage. What I can tell you that computer likes Lagno's position after rook d8, knight coming to a4, maybe b5 later somehow.
Yeah, of course.
So
He's got it all
black
lined up.
is already better in this one.
So black better in both.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, black better in both, and the knights, and because of some rambunctious knights, you got a knight on a4 on the top board,
Knight
with
on
the women,
f4.
and the
Okay,
knight on f4.
let me double check. Okay, in fact, I made it up. Nepo and Wesley, it's almost equal. Yes, Wesley has the initiative, but it's not much. For Lei Tingjie and Lagno, yes, Lagno is somewhat better.
Did I see a g4 thrust in
Oh,
the game?
can we, I'm sorry. We will have 3 games of Wesley against Nepo because I need to see what's happening on my screen.
No, stop
G4,
it.
the knight's hanging.
Okay, we don't need
Okay,
we don't
okay,
need
we move back.
double
We
up.
move
Let's
back.
go back, please. G4 is attacking that knight, and and he left the knight because you can't take it yet because of queen takes on h3, check, and then a mate on g2. So that position is, and the c5 played. This one has gone
Man,
wild.
shouldn't we like switch to that one?
Let's just see this one only so we can just get a good look at it. If we could just get a single board view just for a quick second, as this has gone completely mad, this one between Wesley and Nepo. Look at that knight that's hanging, but you cannot take it because the queen will capture.
So let me see. G4, rook f6 is a bad idea, and after c5, well, dc5 had to be preferred, but d5 is a blunder. After knight f3, Wesley is in trouble. I'm just like checking with the computer. Computer says white is completely winning because guess what? Maybe I cannot take the knight, but it's also not running away after you put the rook on f6. So now e5 pawn's hanging. There's no way to defend e5. And d5 pawn's hanging if you drop the knight back to g6. Now, I do not like...
No, but the knight on h5 is hanging.
Yeah, all the time, yeah.
So what to do? He's got to hustle something, otherwise he's going to be gone.
He's played a move, and it's g5. Yeah, but just grab the pawn on e5, right?
Did
he undo it?
d5, it's been captured, and if we can see a close-up on the left of the board, as everything is collapsing right now.
It does look like everything's collapsing. Queen d4 or bishop d4, you don't want to be moving this knight away, right? So
can we get a close-up on the left side, please? Because this view of the two players is not helping us, and we don't see the clock times either. If we can just get a close-up on that camera, this one. Yes, 6 seconds
6
left
seconds
for
only.
Wesley in a completely lost position.
Queen d4 is such a powerful move. And then, among other things, you can just go d6.
And
yeah,
it
that's
has
what
been
he's
played.
done. Wow.
4 seconds left. 3
Absolutely
seconds.
dominant.
And he's managed to somehow save, but that's a second pawn.
Second
that
pawn,
just dropped from the board.
and not only a pawn, but you know, like when you see this pawn on d6,
and
the third pawn
gets taken. Wesley
Jan
in his
can't
last
stop
throws.
collecting those pawns. Knight c6, and then d7 next,
a
right?
moment away from resigning. Isn't that 3 connected passers?
Yes, those are. Yes, those are. Well, yeah, queen b8, be practical, right? Be practical. Trade the queens.
Yep.
Trade the
and
queens.
trade everything.
Rook
Trade
f4, trade the
that
queens, take e6, go d7, win, right? Isn't it?
Rook f2 check is he's decided.
Captures.
I'm just going to take that.
d7, but we were
that's
the ones.
it.
Yeah, we were the ones talking about 3.
And he's made it. Look at Jan, a happy customer. By the way, that rook sack on e6, which is not really a rook sack.
Yeah.
He played a rook sack against Wesley earlier on e6 to come back.
You're right. Rook e6 finishing 2 games in 1 match.
Yes.
Rook takes knight, in fact.
It says exactly. Rook takes knight 2 times.
Wow.
To beat Wesley. So Jan will play against Magnus. Let's go over to the other game now.
Just to learn that there will be game 6. That's what.
Oh, was it a draw?
They've just repeated because that was why I was making this little pause, because computer says black was better all the way, and yet over here after queen c7, knight b2, which by the way was a bad move, queen b6 would be almost winning, if not winning for black. Lagno decided to go knight b6, knight c4, knight a4, knight b2. Once again, queen b6, almost winning. Knight b6, repeat it. Sometimes you're in this mindset. I just have to survive with black, and
Yes.
then next game I'll have my chance. There will be a next game where Kateryna Lagno will have the white pieces in a couple of
Titanic
minutes. In a couple of
battle.
minutes,
Titanic.
game 6 is about to start.
Well, and they'll wait, right, in the open.
Well, I
this to
hope
be
so,
over.
Maurice. I hope so.
we
They
can have
won't
the two
start the
finalists
final.
at the same time, but it is a game 6. We don't have a resolution as yet, and we'll be waiting as they'll come back to the board in any moment. It's just 3 minutes you get as a break, and you play the next game, and this one is turned into a huge struggle. The winner goes to the finals to play against Wenjun. What a comeback by Nepo,
Wow.
and what a way to do that echo rook takes
No,
knight.
that's incredible,
to
right?
finish
Like,
the
rook
game.
takes knight on e6 in 2 games. Hang on, that's game 5, and we are getting ready for the game 6 to start, right?
Yes.
Well, Lagno will have the white pieces against Lei Tingjie.
Oh, that's a great shot there, showing the two queens as two queens are facing off against each other now. And it's just a tremendous battle. Only one victory per player so far, yes?
Yeah, let me double check. So, Kateryna Lagno, why was that match going? So she made a draw, won, then lost. Yeah, so won game 2 of this match and lost game 3 of this match. There she is, Kateryna Lagno, 2 times World Blitz champion in the past, looking for the 3rd title.
And sitting by herself for the moment. She's put her jacket back on. Usually in Blitz, you want to have as
You wanna
much
do the opposite,
free
right,
flow
right.
as possible. And at the moment, she has her jacket back on. Maybe a little cool in the room. I'm not sure. Great jacket, by the way.
Yeah.
Really stylish look for today's game. And let's see if she can move on. Whew, I got to tell you, the tension is just building with every single game. Knockouts are so exciting as her opponent is now sitting at the board, and this is the one game we get to follow. Who will play in the final? There goes the jacket. I told you, that you don't need the jacket. You need free flow of movement so you can play in the best way. No impediments whatsoever. It is Blitz after all.
Alrighty. So I found 2 versions of the PGN for this game, and at least let's hope that one of them is going to work.
All right, we are almost set to begin. You see the intensity on their faces. What is to come next? We don't know, but we know our champion will be crowned tonight. At some point, which one of these ladies will play for the title? And a little chatter going on right now. Maybe last-minute instructions. Wait, are they being told to get up from the table?
What's happening?
What? I mean, it's the last thing you want to do. You're trying to play your game, and you're being told to stand. Some kind of distraction. As you see, even the fans are looking over.
Yeah. So she was. They were not told to get out because Lagno remains seated, but they apparently were informed about some sort of a delay. That would be my guess.
But everyone there looking over at whatever is transpiring on that side. And it's not like people are just looking away. We see Leonard headed over in the area as well.
Well,
We don't need any additional kerfuffles. It looks like I just saw Emil Sutovsky walk away from whatever is going over there. So he's clearly not anything probably so serious. Maybe we can
we
find
hope
out.
there is nothing
we need to
serious
be
happening.
told what's going on. Something is definitely transpiring in the playing hall that's got everyone distracted. And now actually a little smirk I saw on Lagno's face.
Yeah. Never, what's happening? Like people moving. I'd
I'd
like to have a
love
bit
to know
more
exactly
information, right?
if we had Charlize or a camera on it, or what is causing this delay. You know, it happens all the time in sports. A fan might run on the field, for example, and they got to tackle them and pull them away. Something, though, has everyone. You see so many people are looking over in
Okay.
that area.
So I was told one of the spectators is especially noisy, and I don't know what happens then, but yeah, apparently it's not possible to continue playing, and they're
course not.
trying to calm everybody down before continuing the
I'll
match.
tell you what happens. 4 or 5 burly security guards should walk over, but I mean, it's still going on. This is crazy. In a building like this one, there's definite security, and you can't have noise going on. So security is definitely involved and trying to remove
should
probably
be
the
on the way,
spectator.
right? Should be on the way.
Just to add to the drama, let's get more drama than we need. We just want to be here for the chess, but it's being delayed, and it still has not been
Started,
taken
right?
care of.
So that's game 6 we are talking about, and potentially there'll be more in the semifinals, right? Wow. So
I mean, this is crazy.
there'll be a long way. Also, I'm thinking, like, for those who made it via 3 games, yeah, Magnus Carlsen and Wenjun, it'll be a very long way for them. So you can lose a rhythm sometimes. Like, you know, the least thing you want to be doing, like, you play a very, very short time control, and then you have half an hour break. It's not very easy to come back to kind of a flow. So let's say the winner of this one will be relatively tired.
Yes.
Playing 6 games, 7 games. But also, Wenjun, there's a chance she kind of cools off a little bit. Like if it would be a 40 minutes break for her before coming back to play the final.
And I think they finally removed the offending fan out of the building, and these players now can focus and get back to business. She who wins goes to the final to face Zhu Wenjun. Handshake, and they are off. And we have a Sicilian.
Yeah, we have a Sicilian, and seems like Lagno is prepared for this particular line. At least, like, there was no surprise for Tseva. He quickly captured c6.
I mean, 2 grandmasters here showing their stuff, showing their knowledge, and fighting for survival.
It's a little bit of a surprising line. Can you really play like this? Like, just go a5, bishop a6? Isn't it?
She seems comfortable.
Yeah.
She trusts that she solved the problem of her bishop. And once again, if this is a draw, we're going on and on. I mean, the party.
Guess what? Game 7?
Game 7. Game 7 is a special game in sports. Best of 7 series.
All right.
Will this one go to a game 7?
But interestingly, we do not have best of 7 series. We have a series until somebody wins. After game 6, there can be game 7 as well.
Yes.
At game 8 and game 9 and so
Yeah,
on and so on, until somebody wins.
That's what's special here. The argument would be, why didn't you just play Armageddon and get it over with?
Yep.
Well, Armageddon's exciting, but I don't think it's as exciting as watching 2 titans just duke it out. Somebody is going to win. They're not trying to draw these games.
Absolutely.
It makes no sense.
Right, so after c4, and c4, by the way, it's a very, very standard way of playing in this kind of structure. So d4 would look like a strong passed pawn if black would play d4, but in fact, white would have such a strong blockade. e5, yes, queen g4. It's a rare case where you can castle with black in such positions, because very typical would be that with queen g4, white provokes g6. Here, white does not have bishop h6 move. The knight is on d2, so you can castle short.
And she has not. She has played the move g6. It's one of those moves that in blitz where you play a move that gives the opponent pause, and you're really trying to get some time on the clock in addition to positional advantage. And when they stop for 15, 20 seconds, you say, good, I got you to pause. And now you want to be ready with a quick move. So because she sort of removed the flow from her opponent. Black is pausing even longer on the very next move, and you can see that time edge is starting to accumulate. The last two moves, Lei Tingjie has slowed down dramatically, and what Lagno wants to do now is play a quick move, just a good quick move, which she has not done as yet.
Wow.
And the engine eval bar has shifted with a move like what, Bishop H6?
Bishop H6. Bishop H6 is a strong move. Well, and there must be a reason why Lagno is thinking. Okay, she ended up defending the B2 pawn, which
made a lot of sense because Bishop H6 is a straight sacrifice.
But yeah,
a
but
positional
Queen B4
sacrifice.
now, or H5 Queen B4.
I don't think she wants to push anything over there, but she's pushed now Bishop H6 after A4.
Oh, well, A4 was played, but now Bishop H6 is...
Guards those dark squares.
You get everything and also free, right?
And it's on the board.
It's on the
bishop
board.
to H6. And the only way to eject that bishop is to play the move Bishop F8.
But then
you give all the dark squares away.
And also Queen can substitute for the bishop. So you're not castling short in this game, that's I'm sure.
Queen B4. White already has a clamp with that bishop on H6. And now Black looking for some play, which Rook C1 says...
Rook C1 stops for now.
Don't touch that. And Black's king in the middle of the board. What can she do? It does feel as though White's going to start rolling her up in a second with some attacking moves. Knight D4 could show up at any point.
That's one. You can go Queen H3 and then you're threatening Bishop G7.
No, I'm not liking
I mean, you
this.
can kind of sidestep the fourth rank pin. Queen H3 and then Bishop G7 will be a very strong threat. I don't like it for Black.
I am not liking this at all for Black. And it's up to Black now to see what she can do to create some kind of play. But it's
Knight B6.
Knight B6, attacking, making a threat of some kind. But
A3. Oh, well, there is also A3, just like evicting this queen from the fourth rank, then exchanging on D5, opening the file for your own rook. The king is stuck in the center.
That's the narrative.
It's actually quite bad for Black.
That's the narrative. The king on a horrible square. That queen stopping now to give pause. Again, wasting a lot of time on the clock. And now in a bad position,
Queen
she's
D3.
put her queen inside of White's camp.
Knight D4 wins, Maurice.
I mean,
Knight to D4 just wins, straight up.
She must have thought that she had a threat. But what is she supposed to do now? She's hanging her C-pawn. This is over. This is over. The pawn's hanging. The queen is hanging for sure. She has no way back home. And Queen D3 is met just simply by a rook move attacking the queen.
I think Rook D2, well, tricky computer says Rook E3 is even stronger. Rook E3, Queen D2, Rook H3. Defend the bishop, which defends the rook. But it's sophisticated. But I do not see what's the problem with just Rook D2. You got to go Queen E4. I trade. I take C6 pawn. Your king in your center, pawn up, resigns.
She's looking at the best way to play in this position. You pointed out the engine Rook to E3. She's probably looking at it, but she's also thinking about your move, which is so much more human.
Yeah,
but she has thought for quite some time here, and she herself is down to 48 seconds and counting. She had a huge edge on the clock, and she's instead
captures on
knight
C6
takes
immediately.
C6, allowing knight takes on C4. You got to feel great for White here, no question about it, but
whoa,
that seems like it's a little bit more.
But then you can take E7 now. Look, I mean, take E7 and just grab all the dark squares in the position. Rook to E1.
I'm not feeling this at all, what's going on, because White kind of hesitated, and especially on the clock, and this one is starting to feel like
Black
it's
will
a
be
little
back,
bit crazy.
right?
Bishop C5, maintaining the dark square bishop.
And Black will be back to the game in no time.
Queen H4, again, at least the king is stuck in the middle of the board, and now attacking the knight, so there's no Queen
Rook
E7
C8.
matey threats for you to worry about. And now the knight, what is the knight supposed to do?
Well, you just have to attack this queen once in a while. Rook C3, Rook F3 wins again.
Bishop G7.
Bishop G7.
Ignoring the attack and going after
Black
the
is
H7
winning.
pawn.
Let me tell you, Black is winning right now after Rook G8.
I told you, I wasn't trusting this at all. Rook G8, can't she just take the bishop and then take
Queen
the knight?
H7 and Rook takes and Rook takes.
She
Yes,
has
you're
taken.
absolutely right.
The whole game has turned. The whole game has turned, and Black is the one for choice with an ultra solid position. This check does nothing if you play bishop to F8. you must be doing extremely well here if you're black. And white is in trouble with only 13 seconds, but 7 seconds for black as she's
Yeah.
starting to pick off pawns. We might see an all-Chinese final, although there's still a long way to go. 4 seconds left, rook down, and that's a mate threat. Rook
That's
takes
a mate
on
threat.
F1 is a mate threat.
G3.
G3 trading off there, and another check. And
check on F3, but it doesn't end it. It doesn't end it, though. Wait.
no, but the knight can go in the position. No, knight D3
Oh, well, knight
looks good.
D3.
How do you defend?
Wait, it does end it.
That's it. Game over. What a comeback by Lei Tingjie. She was dead busted, but her opponent couldn't figure out what to do. The two-time champion, former champ,
He's getting
Kateryna
eliminated.
Lagno goes down, and we do have an all-Chinese final. What a finish. In Game
Wow.
6, no need for Game 7. A dejected Kateryna Lagno. She had the game in her hands.
Well, and it's such a... Well, I cannot imagine what's going to happen to Lagno when she comes back to her room, checks those games. She was winning in the previous game, or, well, winning perhaps at the overstretch, but much better when he accepted the repetition. And then with white, she's getting a chance. He, in fact, gets absolutely winning position in multiple ways. That it's not like a sudden tactical chance. It was multiple occasions that she could just like play a couple of good moves and that'd be over.